Good evening, everybody. Good afternoon. Could be a good morning. I usually say this because I just don't know the time at which you're watching the video. But this is to extend my regards and greetings to you. One love is our preach, and then godliness is everything. This is a platform that I use to portray God's love and to spread inspirational messages to motivate you through your day. My name is Mighty Kelso and the platform is named the same, so if you've not subscribed yet to any of the channels or the pages, please feel comfortable. It's only one page. Look for Mighty Kelso on Facebook, Mighty Kelso on YouTube, Instagram, and everywhere else. So here today I'm in a technical way. I'm looking to know what is the who and the how here, and what should we consider mostly. I as one, I think we should consider the who rather than the how, because the way God works is not the human way, and we may not be able to understand, but if we trust and believe in Him, we can easily achieve whatever we want to achieve, and patience is key. What am I talking about? Look at an example. I have a son and I'm proud to have one. Currently, whenever we talk, because we are distant from each other, so whenever we talk, he's mostly making requisitions, if not commands. So currently he asked for a rocket ship. He asked me to get him a rocket ship. Now, I'm sorry, my knowledge about science is not that wide. But I went and Googled, I looked for a rocket ship and I saw it. And then I looked around the shops that I could easily find the toys that look like that. And I just discovered it was super expensive, but I was willing to buy. But I paused because, we have other priorities that we put across, and you think, I'll buy the rocket ship later, and then bought some planes that I thought were cheaper. And the guy received them, but he told me he wanted a rocket ship, and he's not seeing a rocket ship. I told him, boy, you gotta have to be a little bit patient. But the next day he sent another message on phone. We usually talk on phone, and said, I've not seen the rocket ship yet. I want to touch it. He didn't care. All he wanted was a rocket ship, and from me. Now the lesson I learned, because I was listening to another pastor, and he was preaching about the supernatural way that God does His work through. Like the way God works, it's a supernatural way. It's not a human way. Our logic may not be able to apply to it. Look at this guy asking a rocket ship from me. He doesn't care about how I will get it, when all he wants is the rocket ship, and who will provide will be me. So this is what I think looks like when we are talking to God. We're just kids, and what we're supposed to be worrying about is the who. All we need is to put in our faith, our trust, full faith, with no doubts at all, and believe that God will provide and ask from Him. But we tend to have our logical thinking and think of even how it will come about. Yet, all we need is even simpler: trust and believe in God as we ask Him. So you ask God. I'll just give you an example of how it works, and maybe you could understand. The blind man had been blind since he was born. I believe the village people knew him for being blind, and that's why they took him forward. When Jesus stepped in, asked what he had happened, some people, the people who were close to him, said he had been blind, and they thought it was a curse from him or from the family that was chasing him. Jesus said, I'm sorry if I don't quote very well, but I'm driving you to the point of how God works. Jesus said he's not cursed, but he just needs deliverance. And that's what he did. You know what God did? He went onto the ground, took some saliva from his mouth, touched the ground, mixed the saliva with the dust, and then smeared onto the guy's eyes. Now, logically speaking, that it doesn't work that way. Science doesn't tell us that. Science tells us you should even stay away from dust because it could cause diseases onto your eyes. It's actually something very bad to mix eyes with the dust. But this is what God did through Jesus. This is what Jesus did. He got saliva mixed with the dust. Let me give you another example. You remember Naaman. Actually, today I want the story of Naaman, the leper, to be the memory text. That's where I should derive our memory text from. Naaman was a commander in the Syrian army. You remember the Syrian army was known friends with the Israel. But it happens that one of his concubines was an Israel lady. Now, he was suffering from leprosy, and nobody had cured that. However much he was a commander, this was a disease that he was living with. And for sure, like any other person, he would love to be cured. Now, the lady told him that in Israel, there were prophets that were performing miracles. They were able to perform miracles and they could help him. Naaman wrote a letter to the king of Israel and so on and so forth. My point is, he got to a point where he was told what he was supposed to do for him to heal. Now, what they told him was to dip in the Jordan River 7 times. 7 times. A commander to dip in the Jordan River 7 times for him to get healed. Now, if it was a hard thing, this gentleman would easily accept, would understand the logic behind it. But this was something really easy and a little bit demeaning for a commander to do. But as time went in, I think he had no choice. He believed to do so. He went into the water. Before we get to what happened, do you understand the logic behind that? Neither do I. I don't understand. But this is how God works. He works the supernatural way. He doesn't work our way. It's not the human way. It's not what we think. It's not our way. That's why you're not supposed to be looking at and focusing on why, how. You be supposed to be focusing on who. Look at your God. He's patiently waiting for you to call on his name. Look at him. Things are not going your way. You're at work and you think, or maybe if I should be friends with this manager, maybe it would work out. That's your logical way of thinking. It's not the godly way. If you trust God, you don't need people. Literally, you don't need people. Because the steps you make, believe me, as you're looking for a step to take ahead, someone else is looking for the same or even something different, but everybody loves to develop or to grow. It could be anything that you're looking for. It could be anything that you're aiming at. You don't need people. God will use the people his way, but not your logical way of thinking. No, it doesn't work like that. So come to think of it, Naaman went into the water 7 times, and the Bible says his skin, just logically, I don't get this, but his skin turned from the leprosy guy to the baby skin. 2 Kings chapter 5 verse 5, verse 10, and on. You could read the whole chapter. It really elaborates exactly what happened. But now, people look for miracles in a way they want them to happen, forgetting that God works in a supernatural way. My people, my friends, I want you to believe this, and I'm encouraging you to do so. Try believing God with 100%. Try believing God, not your way of doing things. Let Him work His way. All you need is belief, trust, faith, and then patience accompanied. Everything will be alright. Some of us have testimonies that if we are to talk about them, we need hours or even ages. But let me give you a snap of it. I used to have a group of friends that I used to walk with, or I grew up with actually. We grew up together, same village, same place. We went to the same school. Some of them we went on separating, but still getting together at the same time, some other time. So the people who knew us for a given kind of behavior. And whoever found me thought I was of that behavior and I wouldn't change. Ah, you're the guys. No, I've seen you with the guys. Oh, okay, yeah, you're the guys. And now this is not even a beautiful picture we were painting at the village. But I lost one by one. Like death. I lost them to death. First was Stephen, then Charles, then Patrick. Recently it's been someone I don't want even to mention the name because people know him. People who are close to me know him. These guys died of the same thing. I'm not shy to say it. AIDS. Now this was because of the behaviors. The fact that I knew some God in me, I grew up from a religious family. There are some things I was scared to do. And I've never taken alcohol in my life, and I'm not planning to. And different other things I didn't do. But for them, I even tried to pull them to church. I like them, when you're kids and just youths growing up. I liked them the way they are. I didn't judge them. I thought everybody had a life. At some point I used to take them to church, but they didn't understand. And also being a kid, I didn't explain to them perfectly. So for them, they were fearless. They could encounter anything. And that's how they went in two different careers that met different people, ruthless people. And AIDS is what they acquired, and they died. So whoever knew me and knew those guys, and most of the people I grew up knew us that way. They thought I would be in the same line. And looking at the logical way of a human thinking, it really sounds like that should have been the case. It wasn't the case, because the way God works, man, you just have to trust Him. I went to school. I finished school. They dropped out before even high school. I went and finished high school. I finished university. I graduated with a bachelor's degree in industrial art. I went on, looked for jobs. I'm here working for a job that I love. I see my life grow, and sometimes I look back, but I look on the side, I don't see any of my friends. I can't even be so proud, because there's nobody to. You would be proud if you pull up somebody, but they are not here, they are dead. But God moved me here. So what I'm trying to say and what I'm telling you is something I know. And I wouldn't even be more proud if I didn't know God. It's something I know of perfectly well. That God works, sometimes they say in mysterious ways, but I would say in supernatural ways. Don't apply your logic. Let God take on the course. Let him work his way. Just trust in him. Naaman did. It took him some time, but he did, and the fruits were perfect. You remember Prophet Elisha? He said he didn't have anything to give the lady who was losing her kids to the daters. But when the lady was told to collect all the vessels to multiply the oil that he had in her house, she did so with belief. That's the kind of belief that we need. We need that. And God will work. Just like this guy who asked for a rocket ship. My son, he doesn't care how I get it. All he knows, it's me who is supposed to get it to him. I think that's the kind of trust we need to give to the Lord, our God. Just ask and wait for him to work out. With all the faith and belief in you, he will give you whatever you need to. Just relax, cool down, and know that God works in supernatural ways. Thank you so much. I love you.